Now, the Igbos have received serious bashing in Nigeria.
Just look at me, sir.
In terms of marginalization. This is a country that has survived going to 50 years after the Civil War, and people were given £20 no matter how much you had in the bank, and they survived with that £20 and are still standing. These were people that were promised rehabilitation, reconciliation, reconstruction, and all those who are practicing the breach. 50 years after, we're still fighting in the parliament for a Southeast Commission to do those three things that were promised after the Civil War in 1970. This is a people who, in the last election, showed that they have the population to vote in a president for Nigeria. Now, recently, the gentleman who was championing Oduduwa Republic and who was incarcerated in a neighboring country has been released and is free and is traveled abroad. Now, Nnamdi Kanu, who was also championing the creation of Biafra, has been kidnapped, incarcerated, even after the courts have said that he has no case to answer. The Igbo see it as further telling them that they are second-class citizens in their own country, and there is a different treatment for them as compared to others. These same Igbos made their own contributions, which in no way you can say is inferior to the contribution of any other part of Nigeria for the independence of our country. These are people who are they are lucky that God created them with the spirit of enterprise. And you have seen what I've done with their £20. Go around Nigeria and tell me how many cities you see that are as well developed as, even let's take the state capitals. Not to talk about going to the hinterland in Igbo land and see the mansions that enterprise has created. So the country has refused to use these people for the growth of the country's economy. If they allowed the Igbos to thrive and to influence others positively, rather than hounding them wherever they are, I think the country would have developed faster and better. Igbos created Lagos, Igbos created Abuja, Igbos created Kaduna, Kano, most of the country, Port Harcourt. And when you have such people, it is for the country to use them to the country's advantage and not to continue to suppress them. So we feel very, very unhappy in the Nigerian state. But what we promise Nigerians is that we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here until we reap the full benefits of our contribution in building this nation. It is either a magnanimous, the tribalized leader gives us what is our due, or by the grace of God, when we get there, well, if the current mantra is the only way people can get their due in Nigeria, when it is our turn, we'll see whether we'll produce an Igbo leader that will also follow that mantra and give the Igbos what they deserve in Nigeria. But we are not begging for pittance. We are not begging for something that we don't deserve. We are not begging that what belongs to anybody should be given to us. No, give us the freedom to be equal partners with every member of this nation. Allow us to grow and thrive freely in our own country, and allow us to occupy positions that are valuable to every citizen of this country to occupy. So in a nutshell, we're asking for equity. We're asking for fairness. We're asking for justice in Nigeria.
Why do you think it is difficult for this federal government to say, let's conduct it? And by the way, do you think that if there's a referendum and the people vote overwhelmingly to remain in Nigeria, do you think it's going to bring about peace in this country?
Thank you, Mr. Okoro. They will not, because they need you. You know, when you have enslaved your subjects, and this subject has become your hewer of wood and fetchers of your water, how will you let him go? Remember what happened in Egypt when God said you should allow my people to go. Pharaoh refused with all manner of excuses and all that, until Moses now devised a plan. He said, look, let us go and worship our God for 3 days. For 3 days. That was when Pharaoh now said, okay, 3 days. And the Egyptians are still waiting for Israel to come back till today. So, when you see such a situation, you don't need to push it. Look at these other people who have been killing people. Is there anything we have not done for them to settle down? There was Roga. There was a cattle colony. In fact, there is even ranch now. They have created a ministry for them. All for us to have peace. Is that not true? But did any of them work?
Okay,
no.
But
So why can't you ask these people?
Barrister, when you say fetchers of wood and hewers of whatever,
yes.
fetchers of water and hewers of
yes.
wood. If you look at critically the 5 southeast states, now in terms of resources, I mean, there are more oil wells outside the southeast than within the southeast. So what exactly is the federal government interested in the southeast that they can't let them go?
Aha, you are talking. Now, remember, it is out of what? Fear, paranoia.
Okay.
You know, if you allow the southeast to go, the likelihood is that other regions will want to go too. That is the first thing that they are afraid of.
Okay.
They forgot that the Igbo man, his own lifestyle, his own, makeup, his own worldview is different. As an egalitarian society and all that, all this thing about having one man up there who will tell the whole people what to do is not common with us, even though we have business and all that. That is why they have been able to come out of the civil war to be where they are today. Are you getting it? So if you allow such a person who are very diligent at work, who are everything you can think of in terms of what? Resource management, in terms of diligence, in terms of creativity, who will not do it for Nigeria?
So you think that you think that Nigeria is having an Igbo problem, as the case may be?
I think that is the word to put. That's how to put it. Yes, they are afraid of the Igbos, nothing else. They are afraid of the Igbos. That is why they have militarized the whole place to check anybody that passes. Whether you are IPOP, whether you're whatever, whether you're planning to leave or whatever.
Talking about militarization now, Barrister Darlington, we have another report here, where Ima Powerful also come up to dismiss, the report that police raided IPOB camp in Imo State. Why is it that we have a particular man's name always being mentioned whenever, or a state being mentioned whenever the issue of IPOB resonates? 2022, thereabout, Hope Uzodinma was mentioned. We have the likes of Mickey Hejo and Rochas Okolocha and others. They were fingered to be the people who are causing, instability in the Southeast using insecurity from this IPOB.
My dear, it is very obvious. Because when number 4 became number 1, we knew there was a game plan. It was obvious. Because just like I've said in other platform, since the creation of Imo State, we have been having governors, both military and civilian. None of them have witnessed this type of insecurity in Imo State until Hope Uzodinma came there. I was there for the few years he was until the Supreme Court now brought Hope Uzodinma upon us. We didn't vote for him. It's obvious. Nobody has explained to us how number 4 became number 1 in Imo State. That will tell you that ab initio, they were looking for somebody who would do their business in Imo State, and immediately he came.
So that's a very tough accusation.
Okay, well then I'm coming. Let me explain myself. But is it a fact that we didn't have insecurity until Hope Uzodinma came? Is it a fact? So how come under his word this thing escalated to where it is today? How come? And he didn't do anything, no. He even was very proud that he invited the military to come to him and said, over what? What was going on then? Were we fighting? No. So you can see, they always use somebody among you to destroy you. That's what they do. There is nothing to be done or to be said that we have not done. From Buhari to Tinubu. We have been going about this in peacefully. Is that not true? What is that discussion we have not had with them at Asoro? What is that discussion? When they release Shawore and Sondibo, no, their people did not even go this far in pleading for their release. But to tell you that there's an agenda against the Igbo, that's why they are doing all this to that young man, nothing else. The Supreme Court said that we don't even have a law to try this thing you did in Kenya. Is that not a fact? Even advising them to sue the federal government for what they did to him. So when you have seen all this, what else are you looking for? At the appeal court, Michael Zekome, what's the 15 count charge against him? Yet they detained him. Fina, yet they detained him on curious charges. So when somebody have seen you as a threat, there's nothing he will not do to eliminate you. That's what they are doing to Nnamdi Kanu. It's not as if this guy has done what no other person have done. Sunday, he should called for revolution. Revolution now. Is that not reasonable felony? Where is it? Is it not working about? This terrorist, look at what in fact, this terrorist is even more annoying. Did the IPOB do 1/4 of what the terrorists are doing in the north today? Did they do you know that the worst offense you can commit is to kill a human being? Murder. Mass murder. Yet, the federal government just look the other side, as if it is not important.
But Barrister, this looking the other side, where do you locate it?
I located in the fact that the hatred against the Igbos is still there.
All right then.
For something they did not do. Even when IBB have written a book to exonerate, they are still, that mindset is still there. It's all still there.
It will be okay with the gate for this country, maybe the issue of marginalization of some other ethnic group in this country. If this country really wants to be common or to become a nation, they shouldn't marginalize anybody. They should make everybody street for everybody, for every part of the region to enjoy. The way Igbo people are even being marginalized. I've never seen any type of or any tribe that have been marginalized the way Igbo are being marginalized. The only thing will be okay if we help this country now be the time will be okay they don't allow Igbo people to get their peace or get whatever they want for this country. So okay, many of them don't hear say okay, some of the Igbo and many other people don't talk over here. Most of these Igbo elders will be say okay, now they see so them been deal when civil war they go on, so they know how they take fight for their people. They know how they take survive for that civil war. That is why many of them now they talk say okay, they don't want to leave Nigeria again until we be say okay, they don't eat the fruit of their labor. But the thing will be okay, me I get to tell Nigeria will be say okay, make they leave marginalization of it and make they just treat everybody equal, so that this confusion will be so okay, they did for inside this only our country, me just leave our country. Now it's you get to tell una today. And for those of una will be so okay now today be on our first time here. If you get anything will be so okay you want to talk concerning waiting these people talk, I beg make you drop your thoughts for inside comment section. And also if today is your first time, please kindly like our video, share and also subscribe. Thank you.